when absence begins to irritate the body. There is a moment when skipping no longer feels like rest. It feels like trespassing. You wake later than usual. Light presses through the curtains at the wrong angle. The room is quiet, but not peaceful. Your shoulders stay tight. Your jaw sets without reason. Something small has been violated, and the body knows it before the mind names it. Most people believe discipline is something you summon. A mood. A surge. A decision made fresh each morning. That belief keeps them forgiving themselves for absence. It teaches them that skipping is neutral. Harmless. Deserved. But there is another state where skipping feels wrong in the same way wearing wet clothes feels wrong. Not dramatic. Just incorrect. You move through the day with a faint resistance in the limbs. Fingers stiff. Breath shallow. The pulse never quite settles. You laugh when spoken to, but it arrives a half-beat late. Zen monks and old warriors understood this discomfort. They did not chase discipline. They arranged life so the body learned the shape of the day. Same hour. Same action. The floor cold every morning. Knees down without discussion. Breath counting itself even when the mind drifts. When the action disappears, the body protests. Friends notice before you do. You are quieter. Slightly impatient. Less fluid. Someone jokes that you are off today. You nod, already aware that something essential was skipped, and that the cost is being paid slowly. If this tension sounds familiar, don't explain it away. Name the habit you keep skipping, the one that now feels wrong to miss. Write it publicly. One line. No story. No defense. He looked capable until the pattern broke. There's someone like you. Competent. Observant. The kind of person others trust with tasks. He ties his shoes neatly. Keeps his calendar clean. Knows what matters. When he starts something, it looks solid from the outside. The first weeks are quiet. He trains early, before messages arrive. The floor is cold. Fingers stiff as he laces up. Breath fogs once, then settles. He moves through the work without ceremony. No music. No speeches. Just repetition. At work later, a colleague notices he's steadier. Less reactive. They don't say anything yet, but they feel it. Then a morning slips. The alarm rings. He doesn't reach for it immediately. Eyelids heavy. The room warmer than usual. A thin negotiation opens, barely audible. Just today. The body stays still. When he finally stands, the day has already shifted. Shoulders sit higher. Jaw clenched while brushing teeth. He tells himself it's nothing. At the gym that evening, a friend claps him on the back. Taking it easy now. The joke lands sharper than intended. He smiles, but his breath shortens. The set feels awkward. Timing off. He leaves early, blaming traffic, carrying a dull ache in the legs that doesn't feel earned. The next skip comes faster. Not because he wants it. Because the line has been crossed. Shoes stay by the door, untouched. The belt isn't tied at dawn. Hands don't wrap the handle the same way. The body notices first. Appetite strange. Pulse restless. He sits in meetings with dry mouth, nodding while something inside presses forward, unsatisfied. People begin to adjust around him. Invitations come later. Someone else is asked to lead the morning check-in. It's subtle. No confrontation. Just a quiet reordering. He feels it when he reaches for his phone and stops. Fingers hover. Heat behind the eyes. The absence has weight now. He tries to restart with force. A harder session. Louder music. The body resists. Knees complain. Breath refuses to fall into rhythm. The floor feels unfamiliar, even though it's the same. He realizes the problem isn't effort. It's continuity that's been damaged. That night, he lays out his clothes again. Not as a promise, As a correction, fabric folded the same way. Shoes aligned. The room dark. Sleep shallow. When morning comes, he moves before the thought returns. Cold air hits the lungs. Knees fold down. The action lands, and the tension eases just enough to notice what's at stake. He understands now that skipping didn't break the habit. It exposed whether the habit had ever stopped being a choice. The body learns before the mind agrees. In old temples, no one asks how you feel. The bell rings. Feet touch the floor. Knees descend. The mat is thin. The room smells of dust and wood. Cold climbs through the shins. Breath catches, then steadies. No one looks around for permission. A novice once hesitates. He shifts his weight. Thighs tremble. The man beside him is already still. Not proud. Not strained. Just placed there, as if the body arrived on time without instruction. The novice copies the posture too late. He feels exposed. A faint heat spreads across his face. No one comments. That silence carries weight. This is how discipline is transferred. Not through instruction, but through proximity. The body notices order and wants to belong to it. When repetition is clean, the muscles begin to expect it. The lungs anticipate cold air at the same hour. Hands reach for the cup, the handle, the floor, without checking in first. When that pattern breaks, the body reacts like it's been misled. You feel it in small ways. A dull pressure behind the eyes. The breath won't drop into the belly. The spine never quite stacks. You go through motions that used to be automatic, and they ask for attention now. Choice has returned, and with it, friction. At work, someone asks a simple question. You answer slower. Words arrive with effort. Your shoulders tighten while standing still. A colleague fills the silence for you. You nod, aware that something reliable has slipped, and others are compensating without naming it. Skipping doesn't register as relief anymore. It registers as noise. This is why ancient systems removed choice early. Fixed hours. Fixed forms. Same movements, even when sick. Especially when sick. Not to punish the body, but to teach it the shape of normal. Once the shape is learned, deviation becomes uncomfortable on its own. A monk with fever still sits briefly. Sweat beads. Breath shallow. He rises sooner than usual, but the line remains unbroken. Later, his body rests without agitation. Continuity has been preserved, and the nervous system loosens its grip. You begin to understand this when restarting no longer excites you. There is no surge. No recommitment speech. Just a quiet correction. Shoes placed back where they belong. Alarm set without optimism. The floor meets the knees again. Cold. Familiar. Right. Others notice the return before you feel it fully. Conversations smooth out. Invitations come back. Someone hands you responsibility without explanation. The body responds by settling. Pulse steadies. Appetite normalizes. Sleep deepens, not because you tried, but because the pattern has closed again. Skipping felt wrong because something had already shifted. The body had learned the rule. And it doesn't appreciate exceptions. Negotiation is where the morning collapses. The failure doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives as a conversation. You're awake, but not upright. The ceiling is familiar. The room holds its breath. A faint stiffness in the lower back reminds you of yesterday's work. The alarm has already been silenced. The body waits. The mind begins speaking softly. Just this once. You trained yesterday. You'll make it up later. The words feel reasonable. That's the danger. The body stays warm under the sheets. Blood moves slower. A dull comfort spreads through the chest. But underneath, something tightens. The breath shortens. Fingers curl slightly, as if holding back. This negotiation happens every morning in people who break their own rhythm. Not because they are lazy, but because they've allowed the discussion to exist. Choice is invited into a space that once ran without language. You feel the cost immediately after standing. Feet hit the floor later than they should. The air feels stale. Shoulders lift while brushing teeth. The mirror reflects a face that's alert but not aligned. You tell yourself the day will correct it. It doesn't. At breakfast, appetite is off. Food tastes flat. Jaw works harder than necessary. Outside, the light is already higher. Time has moved ahead without you. A neighbor passes, nods, keeps walking. No friction, but no recognition either. You feel oddly unplaced. By midday, the internal noise grows. Focus fractures. Small tasks demand more effort. When interrupted, irritation flashes faster than usual. You catch it, but the heat behind the eyes remains. Someone comments, "You seem tense." You shrug. The explanation would take too long. This is the invisible war. Not between discipline and laziness. Between continuity and choice. The moment you negotiate, you fracture the sequence. The body no longer knows what happens next. It stays alert, waiting for instruction. Muscles don't release fully. Breath stays shallow. The nervous system hums like a machine left on overnight. Ancient training systems understood this weakness. That's why rules were simple and absolute. When rain fell, practice moved indoors. When injury appeared, intensity dropped, not consistency. When exhaustion arrived, the form shortened, never removed. No debates. No internal court sessions. When the rule exists, the mind rests. You feel it on mornings when there is nothing to decide. The body moves before the first thought forms. Hands find the floor. Knees bend. Cold air hits the lungs. The breath stumbles once, then falls into place. The pulse steadies as if relieved to be told what comes next. Skipping started to feel wrong because the body had tasted this silence. Negotiation reintroduced noise. And once you've known quiet order, the noise is unbearable. When choice disappears, the body settles. The shift doesn't announce itself. It arrives as a narrowing. Time becomes specific. Not flexible. Dawn means one thing. The room is dark. The floor waits. The body rises without checking mood. There is no surge of resolve. Just sequence. Socks. Door. Cold air. Movement. The order holds, and the mind follows late, slightly annoyed at being unnecessary. This is the moment most people never reach. They keep discipline wide and generous, full of options. They call it balance. The body experiences it as instability. When choice disappears, something unexpected happens. The shoulders drop sooner. Breath lengthens without instruction. The jaw unclenches while standing still. Muscles stop guarding against debate. The nervous system understands the path and releases its grip. In old schools, there was one way in and one way out. You bowed at the door. You bowed again when leaving. Not to show respect, but to signal transition. The body learned that inside this space, there was no argument. Hands wrapped the sword handle the same way every time. Knees folded onto the mat without ceremony. The repetition was not rigid. It was merciful. You feel the same relief when your own rules harden. When rain falls, you move indoors. When fatigue appears, you slow the form. When the schedule breaks, the next open slot is used immediately. No thought. No delay. Others notice before you explain anything. You arrive when expected. You leave without lingering. Someone asks if you're free tomorrow morning. You answer without scanning your calendar. No. The word lands clean. There's a pause. Then acceptance. Your predictability creates a boundary they don't push. Skipping now feels intrusive because it breaks a closed loop. On the rare day the sequence is interrupted, the body reacts instantly. Pulse lifts. Fingers fidget. The room feels louder. Conversations drag. You feel like you're carrying something unfinished. It's not guilt. It's misalignment. That sensation isn't punishment. It's feedback. A system that relies on choice must be restarted with effort every time. A system that removes choice runs on recognition. The body recognizes what comes next and prepares itself. When the signal doesn't arrive, it stays on edge, waiting. You no longer wonder whether to train. You wonder why the day feels off when you don't. That's when skipping starts to feel wrong, not morally, not emotionally, but physically, like stepping with the wrong foot first. And once the body learns the correct order, it keeps score without asking your opinion. Continuity survives what intensity cannot. Injury changes the texture of movement. The knee warms slower. The ankle feels thick. Each step carries a quiet warning. In people who rely on intensity, this is where everything stops. The shoes stay untouched. The routine dissolves in the name of recovery. In old practice halls, it didn't. A warrior with a strained leg still arrived. Later than usual. Movements shortened. Footwork reduced to weight shifts. The floor remained cold. Knees still bent, not fully, but enough to keep the line intact. Sweat didn't matter. Effort didn't matter. Presence did. Continuity has a different smell than intensity. Less sharp. More stable. You feel it on days when energy is low. The body heavy. Eyelids pulling downward. Breath shallow while dressing. You don't add anything. You subtract. Fewer rounds. Slower pace. Shorter form. The rule remains untouched, show up, even reduced. Others misunderstand this. A friend watches you train lightly and asks, "Is that even worth it?" The question carries judgment disguised as concern. You nod, not explaining. Your thighs feel dull. The pulse rises modestly. The body registers that the sequence is still alive. Skipping would feel worse. Because skipping breaks the chain completely. Reduction preserves it. The nervous system cares less about how hard you go than whether the pattern holds. When continuity is protected, the body stays oriented. Sleep remains deeper. Appetite steadies. Mood doesn't swing as wildly. You remain predictable to yourself. Miss one day entirely, and the body notices the absence more than it noticed the effort on weekdays. This is why perfection ruins people. They train only when conditions feel right. Strong. Focused. Inspired. The body never learns the baseline. It learns spikes. When the spike disappears, there is nothing to return to. Continuity creates gravity. You experience it when restarting after illness. The first day back is awkward. Breath uneven. Movements stiff. The floor feels unfamiliar for a few minutes. But because the chain was never fully broken, the body recognizes the path. Within days, alignment returns without forcing it. People around you relax again. Conversations feel smoother. Your presence steadies the room. No one praises your discipline. They simply rely on it. That reliance is the signal. Skipping started to feel wrong because continuity had taken root. Not because you were strict, but because you had learned how not to disappear. And once the body understands that absence is optional but continuity is not, it resists gaps the same way it resists imbalance, quietly, persistently, without asking for motivation. The body prepares answers before problems arrive. Unexpected things test people who still rely on thought. Rain comes harder than forecast. The air turns sharp. Shoes soak through on the walk outside. Someone checks the weather app again, hoping for permission to cancel. You don't. The door closes behind you. Training shifts indoors without comment. The floor is colder than expected. Palms sting briefly. Breath adjusts. The sequence continues. This didn't happen by courage. It happened by pre-decision. When obstacles appear, most people pause. They think. Blood pressure lifts. Muscles brace. The mind scrambles for justification. That pause is where routines die. Stress forces a decision at the worst possible moment. Old systems removed this weakness early. When X happens, Y follows. When the room is unavailable, practice moves outside. When time is cut in half, the form is shortened. When fatigue arrives, intensity drops, never presence. The body relaxes when it knows the answer in advance. You feel the difference when the day derails unexpectedly. A meeting runs long. Traffic stalls. Messages pile up. In the past, this would have been the excuse. Now, the body adjusts without tension. The schedule compresses. Movements become economical. You arrive late, do less, leave on time. Someone comments, "You're still doing it today." Your reply is simple. Yes. No explanation. No defense. Social friction increases at this stage. People test the boundary. They ask for flexibility, favors, exceptions. Not maliciously. Curiously. They want to know if the rule bends for them. Each request tightens the room slightly. Your chest stays open. Breath slow. The answer doesn't change. Skipping would cost more than saying no. Because skipping doesn't just remove the action. It reopens the question. The body remembers that uncertainty. Shoulders lift. Sleep lightens. Appetite shifts. The system returns to alert mode, waiting for the next disruption. Pre-decided responses close that loop. You notice it in your posture when problems arise. You don't lean forward anymore. You don't tense. The body moves straight to execution. Others feel it. Conversations shorten. People adjust their requests before speaking. The predictability changes how they approach you. This isn't control. It's relief. The body feels safe inside a rule it trusts. When that rule is broken, even once, the safety flickers. That's why skipping now feels invasive. It introduces uncertainty into a system that had learned how to move cleanly through disruption. The answers were already written. Skipping erased them, when others feel it before you do. At some point, the body stops asking. You wake before the alarm. Not sharply. Just already awake. The room is dark. Breath even. There's no urgency. The floor meets your feet without hesitation. Cold travels up the calves. Knees bend. Hands settle. The sequence begins, and the mind arrives late, slightly disoriented, realizing it missed the vote. This is when skipping becomes offensive. Not because of rules. Because of identity. You feel it on the rare morning you don't move. The body hums with unused energy. Fingers twitch. The breath never quite deepens. You sit still and feel like you're withholding something. The absence is physical. Like leaving the house without keys. You can still walk, but every step is wrong. Others notice the difference faster than you expect. A colleague asks if you're all right. Not concerned, checking. Your replies are accurate but slower. The rhythm is off. You interrupt once, then catch yourself. The room adjusts subtly. Someone else fills space you usually hold. It's not criticism. It's reallocation. Friends feel it too. They hesitate before suggesting plans that cut into your hours. When they do ask, the tone is lighter, already braced for refusal. When you accept on an off day, the energy is strange. Conversation drifts. You listen more than speak. The body wants to be somewhere else, completing a loop that was left open. This is the final inversion. You no longer train to feel disciplined. You train so the day feels correct. Skipping doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like static. The body resists the interruption the way it resists poor posture or shallow breathing, quietly, persistently, without emotion. This is why discipline, once embedded, becomes invisible. There is no pride attached. No story. Just alignment. When alignment breaks, the discomfort is immediate and undeniable. The system signals violation long before the mind reaches for language. People call this rigidity. They're wrong. Rigidity cracks under pressure. This doesn't. It absorbs disruption because the core remains untouched. When illness comes, you reduce. When chaos appears, you compress. When rest is needed, you rest deliberately. But you don't disappear. Skipping started to feel wrong because you stopped being someone who negotiates presence. And once the body accepts that role, it defends it on your behalf, through tension, through restlessness, through the quiet insistence that something essential is missing until the sequence resumes. Discipline stops asking for permission. Discipline is not something you perform each morning. It is something that eventually performs you. At first, you carry it consciously. You remember. You decide. You push yourself through resistance. The body follows reluctantly. That phase never lasts. It can't. Effort burns out. Identity does not. When discipline settles, it moves below language. The body wakes already oriented. The hands know where to go. The breath adjusts on its own. You no longer make time. Time arranges itself around what cannot be skipped. That is why skipping starts to feel wrong. Not because you are strict. Not because you are afraid to miss a day. But because absence creates a physical contradiction. The day loses shape. The body stays half alert, waiting for a signal that never comes. You move through hours with something unfinished pressing quietly against the ribs. The unshakable person is not the most intense. It is the one who no longer negotiates. They don't rely on motivation. They don't wait for alignment. They don't argue with mornings. The action exists the same way gravity exists. When it's there, everything settles. When it's removed, disorder appears immediately. This is why others feel it when you skip. Your presence changes. Your reliability flickers. The room adjusts. Discipline, once embodied, becomes a kind of silence. It removes noise. It removes choice. It removes the daily trial where most people lose themselves. If skipping still feels optional to you, the identity hasn't closed yet. If skipping feels wrong, the door has already shut. Write your commitment publicly. One line only. Name the action you no longer negotiate with. No explanation. No context. Let the body keep the rest.